Hi everybody, it's Stephanie with Kate's Crafts, and I'm here with an end of 2022 WIP Parade and 2023 plans video coming to you after the holiday of Christmas, before New Year. It's actually New Year's Eve, and it's already getting dark out, so I have lights on. Hopefully the lighting will cooperate. As you can see, we're still in the Christmas season here for another week or so. But yeah, so everything is flying by. I had a pretty good holiday. I'm having some health issues, which is not fun. Hopefully we can get this sorted out in the new year, but it's been nice to be off work, and it's been nice to visit with family. So I can't complain in that regard. So I have, sorry, I'm looking down at my notes here. I have the WIPs that I worked on that were carried over from 2021 to last year that I worked on. I also have a chunk that I didn't work on because I kind of put focus on certain pieces for WIP Go and didn't touch other ones, and that is I don't know how I feel about that. I'm still not very happy with myself for that, but I have segregated them because I may do a breaking point and break this into 2 videos. We'll see how long this takes. I will try and not take too terribly long, but it's WIP Parade season, so you know, get a nice beverage. I do have some tea here, which I am not a tea person at all, but like I said, due to some of my health issues, I'm giving it a try. New year, new things. Okay. And then I also had a number of finishes and a number of new starts in 2022. So I'm going to go through the WIPs that I carried over first in no particular order, and then I'll go through the new starts that I had in 2022 in, again, no particular order. And then we'll see where we're at. And I definitely want to talk about plans as well. Now, I am happy to say that in 2021, I had 1 finish. 1. I think a lot of my projects were bigger, were full coverage, as you guys know, kind of obscure random pieces. And then in 2022, I really wanted to get some finishes and kind of feel that sense of completion. So I did start a bunch of things, and most of them were smalls. So I had, I believe I've counted it up, and I had 30 new starts in 2022, but I finished 15 of them in 2022. On top of an additional 5 WIPs from 21 that I finished, it gives me a total of 20 finishes in 2022. So I can't really complain about that, especially after 2021's. Hard to not beat 1 finish. And then, you know, but I did start a bunch of things. So I really didn't want my WIP count to go up that high, but it's not egregious. So we'll see. I've gone through them briefly to organize for this video, and then I'm still thinking about some of them. I may end up UFOing them or even possibly restarting. But we'll cover some of that as we get into plans. One thing I did want to show though is I told you guys I had another finish coming, and it was another QR code by Control X Stitch. And this one is actually on her Etsy site as a Valentine, and it's got a whole outside stitched border, but I did not stitch the border, and I converted it. It's kind of in like a reddish pink teal kind of combo for Valentine's Day. I put it into reds and greens. I gave it to my son for Christmas. It's a Rickroll. And my sons think that's hilarious. So, although they think it's funny to Rickroll somebody, but they were not happy that I Rickrolled them. Anyway, so yeah, so that's my last finish of the year. I'm going to put this in a little 3-inch hoop I have, stitched it on 18 count Ada. Again, it's a pattern by Control X Stitch on Etsy, and I'll link that below. So this is my last finish for 2022. All right, so WIPs that I worked on in 2022. This is in my Chicago transit bag that I got from my friend Gail with Gail's Golden Needle. If you're not watching her, you should check her out. She's an absolute sweetheart. And I won this bag as a giveaway on her Flosstube channel. And this one is by the Primitive Hare. The chart is called the Siren. And I did stitch on this a little bit more than what you guys saw last year, because I had started the day before my WIP parade. However, I took the chart in to copy it and make a working copy at work, and I cannot find the chart, so I haven't been able to work on it all the rest of the year. But it is, as I said, it's called the Siren by the Primitive Hare. I am stitching this on, hold on, I think I have a fabric tag in here. Yes, Oat. 36 count Oat by Brandy at Stitch Me. And I'm stitching, I think I subbed out a couple of the week's colors for Classic Colorworks, but that is the side border. Apologize if you guys can hear any kind of drilling or anything. My husband is doing some work in the garage, so. But this was the only time this was going to get filmed. All right, then let's see. And I apologize, most of these are in project bags. I haven't ironed them, and you're probably going to hear them going in and out of project bags, so apologize. This next one is Ink Circles Henna Mandala, and I am stitching this on Grog, I believe, or Dune. I think it's Dune by Brandy at Stitch Me. I'm stitching it, it is 18 count or 20 count Ada. And I'm searching this with a sulky blendable called Caramel Apple. And this is how far I am. I am 65% complete. You can see this is the halfway. So I'm 65%. And I put about 1,200 stitches into this year. And it is a lovely caramel apple. It's got like a green, dark green, a kind of a beige, and then like a caramel color. So. Then next I have Valentina by Ink Circles, and this one I am stitching on a no-name fabric from Brandy at Stitch Me, and I am also stitching it with some of Brandy's silks. Very big piece. Oh, here's the cover page. This is what it will look like. And this is where I'm at. This one has no business going into 24. Like, I need to finish that this year. And I actually have a stitching prompt for one of my challenge groups that I'll talk about that needs a purple project. So this may come up here in January very quickly. And this is on 22 count Hardanger from Brandy. I said it's a no-name purple, but it's 22 count. And that's one strand over one. This next one is in my friend's bag that I made. And this is also by Ink Circles. And this is, what is this? Hawaiian Mandala, Hawaiian alphabet Mandala. I am 22.4% complete. And I put into that, let's see here, about 300 stitches this year. This is actually at the bottom of the chart. It goes like this. And this is on 18 count. I think this is 18 count Grog by Brandy at Stitch Me. And let's see here. I can show you guys. I can show you some of these. That is what it's going to look like. So I have done the bottom part of this and going into this motif. I really want to get up into the other colors, so I'm trying to work my way in the green up to the top of this so I can kind of move around and then get up to the letters this year. And that one's charted in DMC, but I've converted it to Sulky and Fancy Floss. All right. Next is, this is, let's see, Welcome to Tatooine by Country Magic Stitch. Let's see, do I have a, checking to see if I have a cover page. No, I don't. Of course I don't. This is what it'll look like. And Tatooine, I am currently, I think, 15% complete on this one. Yep, 15.7% complete. I put about 800 stitches in it this year. I'm stitching this on 18 count easy guide or easy grid Ada. So basically everything from like that yellow window over this way is new for this year. And I have a couple others by Country Magic Stitch that I haven't started yet, and I will definitely probably be starting them this year with some of the challenge groups I'm in. All right. Next up, I have 12 Days of Christmas. This one I showed recently by Satsuma Street. I'm stitching it like this with the ornaments. This year I started number 9 as part of Flossmas, and that the other ones I have completed are 1, 4, and 5. So I have 3 complete. Those were completed in 2021 though. So I'm starting on 9. Like I said, I have 1, 4, and 5 done, and now I'm working on 9. And I'm stitching these on, these are 1/1 on 28 count Monaco, just with the DMC. And here's an idea of how small they are when they're done. Very cute. Next, I have another Country Magic Stitch. This is Hogsmeade. Visit Hogsmeade. Show you the mock-up for that one. That's what that's going to look like. And I think I only put a couple hundred stitches on that this year. So I'm currently sitting at, and I still have a needle in it, that's fantastic. I'm currently sitting at 25.5% complete. So you can see I've got the tops of some of the buildings there. Most of the chimney smokestacks are done though. And I'm also stitching this on 18 count Ada. This is the only one of my Country Magic Stitch that's not on like the easy count. It's all just regular Ada. All right. Next, I have this is my Frogwarts bag from Frogwarts Year 2. It's full because I keep all of my floss in here, as well as all the charts, as well as all of the, I have a set of etoile, not a full set, but the etoile that I bought, I generally keep in here because I use that. And then I have all of the, as part of the retreat, we get Color and Cotton. They're Birdie's Every Flavor Bot type floss, every flavor floss. And I keep those in here too. So it's kind of a hodgepodge of stuff in here at this point. And I currently, one of my finishes this year was Year 2 and Year 3, because we had the Year 3 retreat this year. But I have not yet finished Year 1. I'm almost done. It will be finished, I would imagine, during Frogwarts this year for Year 4. I will finish this. This is where I'm at. So you can see along the bottom, I've got to finish the grid, the filling in the back side of the diamonds. I have to finish stitching the inside of the mirror, which I'm stitching with white étoile. And then I need to put the Algerian eyelets at this end of the quote. Other than that, I think, unless there's some other back stitching, I think everything else is done. I really wanted to add in back stitching at the top here, Irised, for the Mirror of Irised, but we'll see if that happens. So I thought this was a finish, and then as I was going through, I was like, nope, didn't finish it. Oh, fabric. I am stitching this. All of my Frogwarts are stitched on 36 count linen, and this one is actually from Forbidden Fiber Co. It came in the Mandalorian box last year. I think it was called Tumbleweed, but I ordered a replacement piece of fabric, and it says it's Tumbleweed, and it's a lot more green than this is. This is really just like a parchment kind of color. So I don't know, but it is Forbidden Fiber Co. Might need to split those up into a different bag set here. Oy. Oh, I just realized I left all of my full coverage pieces upstairs. So I'm gonna pause this and I'll come right back. All right, I am back. Sorry about that. I know it was just a second for you, but okay. So next up, I have my Harry Potter book covers, and that one, this is what it is going to look like. This is the supersize max color edition, and it is by Fox and Teacup Designs. And I am currently at 19.5%, and I stitched like 6,500 stitches on it this year. Sorry, I've got parts threads here. Stitching this on 25 count Easy Grid Lugana from Charting Creations, and I'm stitching it 2/110. So I think last year I was down to about like here, so I did all of this, and then I just started kind of getting the pink and the coral in, and then so I've done all of this across. So and then pull this chair back over here. And then I have my Floral Bird of Paradise, which I thought I hadn't touched it at all, but it turns out I put it like 1,500 stitches or maybe 1,800 stitches in it. This was my focus piece last year. I did hit 22,000 stitches in, or 21,000 stitches in 2021. This is what that one is going to look like. This is by Heaven and Earth Designs. The artwork is by Joe Lynch. Again, sorry for the glare. And so I am at just under 30,000 stitches, and I'm at 14.3% complete. That is my back, which I guess that's not awful for a back on a Hade. But you can see this is solid full coverage. This is all stitched in 3865. And I did finish gridding the whole thing this week because this is going to be my focus piece for 2023. And I'm going to use this as a big chunk of my focus for my stitching for fandom Stitching Central, which I'll talk more about as well in the after. But this is on 18 count Aida from Michael's or Joann's. I literally bought this in May of 2020 when I first started stitching. First started stitching again when the pandemic was just starting. This Aida is the softest Aida I have ever stitched on. I love it to death. I bought more from them, both places, and none of it is like this anymore. I don't know what they changed. Even like a couple months into the pandemic, it was totally different. So I don't know. But I love this. It's obviously with DMC. It's 450 by 450, so it's a big girl. And it said, so this is like just under 15% done. And my husband, for Christmas, got me a scroll frame rod that's big enough to fit this. So that's exciting. All right, that brings me to Mini White Magnolia, my other Hade, which was my focus piece for this year. Now, I was aiming for 22,000 stitches in 2022. It did not happen. I also used this for Marathon, for MMIW, and 2GS. And that 100 hours also did not happen. So I'm not going to say I failed, but I did not meet my goals. I'm trying to give myself a little bit of grace. It's still in the frame, so let me flop us here. Now, I will say that kind of in this area here is like one page, which is what I started the year with. So I started the year with like 9,000 stitches. I'm now at just shy of 24,000. I am 30% done with my Hade. That is the full length of it, and I'm working my way down. So I achieved like 14,500 stitches this year. So well short of my 22,000 goal, but that's still a lot of progress for me for 1 year. So this is definitely where the bulk of my stitching for the year went, on top of all the other starts I had. But I really do love it. Let me show you what this one's going to look like. The Magnolia part that I'm getting into is a lot of light colors, and it's very hard to see on the fabric, especially because I'm doing tent stitch. So this one I need to, when I get into the Magnolia part, I'm going to probably have to go like stitch by stitch, which is okay, but that's what it looks like. So I have just the tip, this side here, this tip of the Magnolia started. So again, you can kind of see it coming in right there. So all of these light colored threads here, I'm like honestly looking for ninja stitches here, and going cross country is just not working. So that's kind of why I started going across with the darker colors, and I'm working my way down. If I stitch on this one, I'm probably gonna just work in all these part threads as best I can, and then dig in with kind of going stitch by stitch in the Magnolia parts. But I'm gonna switch back to Floral Bird of Paradise for my focus for this year, so I'm not exactly sure how much love this one is gonna get, but we shall see. All right, so that is it for the WIPs that I carried over from last year. Now we have the new starts, and again, these are in no particular order, but I have my, let's see, I'm gonna put my bag up here, and then I will probably just throw it down on the ground and make a big mess. All right, the first one is in a Love You More Studio book sleeve. This was from summer camp, their Camp Black Needle, and I am stitching Halloween Tiny Town by Heart and Hand, and this is on a no name fabric from Bestitch Me from Brandy. It is 36 count linen, and that is my start. So not much of a start, but I think it's super cute, and this will definitely come in handy on some challenges this year, I think. So hopefully I can, if not get it done before Halloween, make it a focus to finish it in October. Yeah. The next one is Hands Across the Sea, Sarah Spencer. It's one of her little gems. This is what it's going to look like. And a couple of my stitchy friends and I were starting this together. We talked about doing a round robin. I think, you know, it's more of a start together at this point. which is totally fine. I ended up stitching this, starting it on 20 count Ada from Brandy at Bestitch Me. I like Brandy's fabrics, if you can't tell. It is a no name. Yes, no name. And I wanted to make it more purple than red and like pink. And I'm not necessarily happy with my color conversion, so we're gonna see about that. This is how much I have gotten done, which is the whole one side, but I'm probably gonna restart this because I'm not loving it on this fabric. I'm not loving my color conversions, and you know, I might just finish this. I mean, heck, this is long enough. I could maybe even make this into like a little, maybe if I stitch a little bit more and just keep repeating it, I can make a little drum out of it even. It's cute. It's a cute border. I like the border. It's just, I'm not liking the colors I came up with, so. So there's that. And next I have in my, and these are in like 31 bags that I just happen to have from, they're the large zipper pouch. They're actually not bad for cross stitch projects because they have kind of a small wedge bottom. I mean, it's not huge, but anyway. So this one I started last January as part of the Garon Stitchery Designer Focus. So for January last year, they did Nora Corbett and Mirabilia, and I had never stitched one. And I found this one as a free chart on Mirabilia's website, and this is Leilani, the hula dancer. And I am 95% done with the stitching. So all of the silks are done. I have to finish this little bit of her hair, and then there's a little bit down here on the bottom to fill in. And then I'm done with all the cross stitching, and then it's just beads. So, and this is on vintage Tiffany blue, 32 count linen, and what was I gonna say? I think I stitched it 2 over 2. I did not do 1 over 1 on the skin, which I kind of am regretting, but that's okay. It's my first one. Oh, I'm also going to use this for the hashtag Teresa Made Me Do It, Sal, which is starting tomorrow with Teresa Little Stitcher and some folks. There's a Facebook group. You're more than welcome to join if you have a fancy lady, fancy man, fancy mermaid, fancy folk, whatnot. So I really love her though. And for Christmas, my mom found the last of the Mill Hill beads I needed for that. And so I now have all my beads and I have all my stuff together. So I actually am thinking I'm going to stitch that one twice because I have enough beads to do it twice, I think, almost. We'll see how the beading goes. But I'd like to either send one to my cousin in Hawaii or share with my parents and still have one for me. So that is one I would definitely consider stitching twice. This one is a brand new start. I received this for Christmas. And this, my parents went to Hawaii in early December and they got me some charts for Christmas. And this one is called the Floral. This is Ohia Lehua. And that is my namesake. My middle name is after the Lehua flower. So this is what I have so far. And this came as a kit. So this is a little scrap of Ada. It's 14 count Ada. And then they give you the DMC, and I'm just working on filling that in, as you can see. So finish size, it's only 2 inches by 2 inches on 14 count, but I think it's so pretty. And this is another one that I will definitely finish this year, probably very soon. I will say, without showing the chart itself, it comes with instructions on how to cross stitch. And I remember this font. I mean, I say font, but this is like legit typed up on a typewriter. And this is the first time I've ever had a hand-drawn chart. Like, this is legit typed up on a typewriter, and this is copyright 1982 by Needlecraft, Hawaii. So I need to get this put in. It does not come with the mat. It just comes with the kit to do the stitching. But it's kind of like a mill hill, like you just get the DMC that you need to do it. Did you get that in a proper project? I was traveling with it. Ooh. Traveling with it, so I put it in a Ziploc. I need to get that in a proper project bag. All right, next I have, this is a Star Wars bag from Leanne at Forbidden Fiber Co. with her zipper pull that came on it. This was from the Star Wars box from last year. And in this, I have well, this is a 20 count Ada. This is a half yard that I got from Brandy at Bestitch Me, and I started a chart called the Dark Mark. This is what it'll look like. And it's not much of a start, but it's there. I'm stitching this again on dirty chalkboard, and I'm stitching it with green onion. Pretty sure that's what it's called. Yeah, green onion from Classic Colorworks. So kind of reminded me of when the Dark Mark appears in Goblet of Fire in a Star Wars bag. Anyway. All right. Oh, this is, I started my first Biscornu from Tiny Modernist, the Phoenix Biscornu. I am stitching this on, I believe, 18 count Ada. And this is how, the hanging thread. This is how far I am. So this one's completely done. This one's all done except the tips of the claws. And then I'm going into the third Phoenix. There is stitching, you can see on the bottom, in the corners as well. So I've got to do the top and the bottom still finish. But hopefully I finish that in this year so I can try my hand at finishing Biscornu. See how it goes. All right, this one is also in the Love You More Studio Co. book sleeve. This is a full-size book sleeve. I got this last year from, it was on sale from Twin Peak Primitives. It's called Stallion's Christmas. And I do not have much of a start on this at all, but it's on honey. Let's see, what count is this? 22 count Ada in honey. Once again, sorry, I've got some parked threads here. Come on. So this is my start. So that's the full height of the piece. And starting over here by those trees. This is the first one I'm going to try using the Inker Black. So we'll see. I figured for that kind of the fence coverage and then having to stitch the white in between it, thought I'd give it a try. I haven't used it much, but so far it looks good. So I don't think I'll have this as a finish this year, but I'd like to make some progress on it. Ideally, it's supposed to be a gift for my aunt and uncle. That looks almost exactly like their horse farm, so it's kind of a gift for them. It's like Christmas, like just reaching in and grabbing those little bags of goodies. Okay, this one, I don't think I have a picture of either. No, just the chart. Okay, so this is by Cross Stitch by Narni. And I bought a bunch of these, and they're just like the little vignettes of like famous paintings. And I bought this for a couple of my stitchy friends, random paintings that kind of I thought they would like for whatever reason. So this one is The Scream. And I just need to fill in here, here, and here, and then do the back stitch on the face. This is on 14 count Aida, off-white Aida. That will definitely be a finish this year, but I only have like 40 stitches in it, so I won't be able to use that for a challenge or anything. All right. Oh, so this one is Spring Awakens by Summerhouse Stitchworks. I do have, I don't have summer. I have spring, winter, and autumn. I'm stitching this on 40 count. This is a color and cotton even weave grab bag, but I'm doing this 40 count over 1. And that's how far I am. I started this at the same time as my friend Jennifer, Frog Stitcher on Instagram, and Erin, Two Martini Stitcher. We've all started this basically the same time-ish. And yeah, right now I'm using the Called for DMC. This fabric is actually, I don't really have anything like here. I guess this is white to put it with. It's a pink. It's like a ballet pink. It's a very light pink. But yeah. Yeah, over 1 on 40 count is interesting. I'll leave it at that. I don't mind it though. I mean, it's not awful, but yeah, it's teeny and fun. All right, what do we have next? Oh, this is in this project bag, I believe, if I remember correctly. It's from a Black Needle Society Cozy Stitching last year box. I want to say the bag is from Erin. The artwork is from Autumn Lane Stitchery. And in here, I have my Chronicles of Narnia, which it's hard to show because the mock-up I have doesn't have any of the back stitching on it. This is by Stitching Book Club. I'm stitching this on, this is 16 count opalescent Aida, white opalescent Aida, and this is the start I have. So the Chronicles of Narnia is done, and then I was back stitching the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and then I had kind of started coming down. There's a lot of back stitching in the second section. So I don't know if I'll work on that this year as well, but it's really cute, and I would probably use this for challenge piece, challenge stitching. All right, this next one is in a bag that I made, which with batik fabric, and this one is. So this one, they didn't tell me what the fabric is. I got it at the craft gallery and they put it on there, but they don't say what the fabric is. So it's 36 count. That's all I know, unfortunately, because they didn't write it on there. But this chart is by Ink Circles. It's called Tiki Time. That's what it'll look like. And I'm stitching this, I believe, 2/2. On 36 count. Here's my start. And I'm using the Called for Classic Colorworks colors with this one. I don't know if that's 1/2. I think it's got to be 2/2 with that color. I really should take notes. Because my default on 36 count is still 2/2. I don't typically do 1/2, so I guess that's the safe bet. All right, and we have a couple more here. This is the Autumn Basket Trio by Hands On Design. I'm stitching this one down here. And this is on 32 count. Yep, 32 count Lugana from Even Weave from Brandy at Bestitch Me. And this is how far I am. So if I look at this, so this is the center, and that's like kind of 1/8 of the pie, I guess. Right, it's half of that top quadrant, so I'd probably say I'm like 20% done. But I'm just using the DMC on this. I really love the color combination. Looks great. Love it on this fabric. It's a very fun stitch. And for a while I was just using that in the car because it's actually a good car stitch because it's kind of like little blocks. All right. Oh, another ink circles. This is Tangled Fire. I don't know why I love this, but I fell in love with this one. And I bought fabric at the craft gallery to stitch this on. I think it was the called for, or no, called for a Seraphim. And it was a 32 count PTP. Number one, I didn't like the fabric. It felt like burlap. And number two, this had a sulky pack that came with it. So here's the color, the sulky. And I did not like coverage of one sulky thread on a 32 count, especially on that. I did not like it. So I restarted it, and this is on 36 count linen from Color and Cotton from a grab bag. So it's a similar kind of color, and this is how far I am. I really like it. It's really fun to stitch on this. It's, like most of the ink circles, especially when they're this really, I mean, it is a mandala-ish, but it's because it's circular, it's a little different. But I shouldn't say that. It is a mandala, but it's so fun. And I have this currently. It was in a different bag, but I needed to rehome that project. So it's currently in this is a bag from Garon Totem Bags, and it's like kind of European landmark. France. Oh, I guess it's not just European. Got some other stuff on there too. All right. The next, I think I have, let's see, 3 more. Not doing too bad. This is also in a Garon bag. When you see this project is, I bought this bag a year and a half ago, or December of 2020 maybe, a while ago. And this project is perfect. And it's funny because I'll be honest, I don't typically stitch like what everyone else is stitching, I guess. I don't know. I mean, there's some of the stuff I do that other people are working on, but I stitch what kind of jumps out to me, which isn't always the same as everybody else, which is not a bad thing. But this one was definitely a FOMO situation. And it's this also came up with Garon stitchery from their Garon Designer Focus with Glendon Place. Was in September. I had never stitched on a Glendon Place, and when Gary finished this piece the year before, I fell in love. It's Woodland Wonder, and the called for is Earthen by Picture This Plus, but I am stitching it on vellum. So I'm stitching it on 32 count vellum, and this is how far I am. So I have the top border, and then the start of the first tree there. And this is all with DMC and then Krynic and beading. So yeah, so I've started the top of this tree. I haven't done the white in between yet. If I remember correctly, that includes white beads, or no, it's the blending filament. So I was waiting till I had more DMC done with that. But I mean, can you not with this? I mean, this bag was like made for this. I mean, come on. Happy accident. Happy coincidence. All right. And then, oh, no, this is just the floss. Okay. 2 of my floss rings are here. So this last one then is, and this one is the one a lot of people are stitching for sure. So I guess I spoke too soon. This is Primrose Cottage Stitches Autumn Rules. And I am actually stitching this on the call for Vintage Country Mocha in 36 count. And I did not unroll this, so give me 1 second. But I had fallen in love with this chart, and then I saw, because I wanted a fall. I like decorating for fall, but more than Halloween. And I wanted a fall piece that was like kind of Halloween, but not really. And then I saw someone stitching this, and then I think there was they referenced a stitch along with the Cornhusker State Stitchers, I think. So I kind of joined in on that, but I got behind. So here is what I have. And I stitched from stash with this, where I could swap in some of my fancy floss, I did. The greens, mostly I didn't have good fancy floss alternatives, so I stuck with the DMC. So let's see if I can, it's not going very elegant here, sorry. There's the bottom part, and that is my Mickey Santa, because that's appropriate on a fall piece from Fangirl Fibers. Or not Mickey Santa, Mickey Snowman. So this go on a hayride. I don't have the bottom of the acorn and the bottom of the acorn. So this block is, I'd say 75% done. And then if you look at the chart, so then I just have this line and then make pumpkin pie. So I really only have that last section to go. I was hoping to maybe get this as a finish for this year, but kind of ran out of steam on it and didn't circle back to it. So is what it is. But I'm sure that'll be a finish this year. If not now, it'll be in the fall. So we'll see where this maybe comes in on challenge stitching as well. So those are my new starts. So those are all of my WIPs that I've worked on and have actually made progress on in 2022. I have another, I think 20 that I didn't even touch. So I have those here and I can show them, but I was going to talk about plans first and then I'll circle back, and that way if that's not something you're interested in, or depending on, like I said, when I go to edit this, maybe I'll make it in a part 2. So if this video ends after my plans, then there's a part 2 coming. But let me move this down just so it's out of the way. That's gonna, okay. All right, so plans. I am, and again, sorry, I'm going to reference my notes here. I will tell you, cold tea does not taste nearly as good to me as cold coffee. So I have to be more punctual about my drinking when I drink tea. Things I'm learning. Okay, so I mentioned Fandom Stitching Central. So Fandom Stitching Central just finished its first year doing a Star Wars event. And I joined, but I'll be honest, I never really got up on playing with it. I was doing WIP Go. I was trying to do my 22,000 stitches on my mini white Magnolia, and the challenge prompts weren't lining up with things I already had going. I already started enough projects, so yada, yada, yada. I let it go. I still would read the group and look at the prompts and everything, but I just never really submitted anything. This year, they are doing Lord of the Rings, which I am a fan. And I mean, I'm a fan of Star Wars too, so go figure. But I am definitely a fan of Lord of the Rings, and I'm excited to re-listen to all the audiobooks while I'm stitching, as well as watch the movies again. they have yearly challenges, monthly challenges, and weekly challenges. And then you can sign up to be on a team. I am on Team Elf, and which I am happy with because I am definitely Team Elves in the movies. The yearly one is basically a challenge to do 20 3,000 stitch legs. Now you can combine them with stitching from other projects that you use for the monthly challenges, but you can't double dip with the weekly challenges. So my focus piece of being Floral Bird of Paradise, I'm probably going to try and do that for the monthly, or sorry, for the year long. And then any monthly challenges I participate in, I will roll those in. But if I completed all 20 legs, that would put me at 60,000 stitches on Floral Bird of Paradise or some combination thereof, which would be fantastic. And I'm going to be honest, it's probably very ambitious for me. So it's a goal, right? So we'll see. The weekly challenges, though, are, you can get up to, like, there's 5 challenges a week. And then there's generally, I think there's like 8 to 10 challenges for the month. And they're pretty generic. They're not Lord of the Rings pieces that you have to stitch on, like stitch on a piece with blue thread or stitch on a piece on blue fabric or that kind of stuff. So where I can work my current WIPs in, I'm going to. If I can't, I do not want to, at this point in time, I don't want to start a new WIP just for one of those challenges. I'll try and either do penalty stitches where I can, or I will, revert back and just put my focus on that Floral Bird of Paradise for the yearly goal of completing the 60,000 stitches. So that's Fandom Central, Stitching Central. That is a group that is on Facebook. It is still open. You're more than welcome to go look to join. At least it was open as of I think today when I was on there. And you fill out a Google Doc and you'll get assigned to a team. And you can join mid-year, like all through Star Wars. They had people rolling in. It shouldn't close. So, I think I know of at least a couple other folks who are Team Elf as well, that I'm, following on Flosstube and Instagram. So it's exciting that we'll be on the same teams and whatnot. Semi-sane stitchers, I liked it when they did like Stitchopoly and some of those kind of stitches where like you'd roll the dice and it would tell you how much to stitch. But I looked and at least for the first half of the year, almost all the challenges are like, the snowball fight or basically I stitch. And then if someone else stitches more than me, they can take away some of my stitches and that kind of stuff. And I am not on there daily enough to keep up with that. So I am going to continue to participate in the monthly focus challenge. I'll be using my Floral Bird of Paradise for that. And then maybe as more events come up in the year, I will jump in on those as well. But for sure, I'll just stay on the focus group challenge. The Full Coverage Fanatics has a WIP for a finish, and right now I'm thinking maybe one of my Country Magic stitch pieces like Hogsmeade or Tatooine. I also have the Shire, which that is one I'm considering starting anyway, and that would probably tie in with some of the Lord of the Rings challenges, but also could be a WIP for a finish on Full Coverage Fanatics. So those are I think those Country Magic stitch are 22,000 stitches each. So we'll see. I mentioned the Teresa Made Me Do It Sal, where I'm going to be stitching on Leilani. And I will also use that when I join Pam Stitching in the Land of Good Enough from Stitch New England, her Flosstube group or channel. She hosts a Fancy Folk group once a month, a Zoom. So I'll also be using that monthly to try and stay on Leilani enough that I finish it this year. I haven't done a full piece with big beading. I've done Lizzie Kate's or some of the smaller ones, or a small Mill Hill. I haven't done a big cross stitch piece with beading, so I'm not sure exactly how long that's going to take, but it'll be good practice for me before I get to Woodland Wonder, before I get to the beading and that as well. Um, and then monthly, I'm still going to do Athena from Stitching Goddess Designs. She has her 7th of the month, her Harry Potter stitching group, and I'll continue to work on some of my fandom pieces there, as well as doing Frogwarts this year. So those are the groups. I did not say WIP Go. I am not going to do WIP Go. I did really well with WIP Go this year. I finished all but like 4 squares, and it's okay. But I think what I saw is like then I only focused on those pieces, and I didn't try and cycle through my WIPs very much. And I have more WIPs than that. So it doesn't really work to just put like one on each square because I have more than 24 WIPs. So I'm really going to focus on trying to do the challenge groups and then trying to get creative and using all the WIPs I have in some way to meet the challenges that I have, and see if I can use that to kind of help push progress across the board on a bunch of those WIPs. So, and then on top of all of that, if all else fails, so to speak, I have, I'm using the Black Needle Society's stitching journal and planner this year. I definitely want to get better about keeping track of my stitching, and I've had a plum paper planner for the last couple years. I kind of start off good and then I teeter off and don't use it for my stitching. I keep track of other stuff in there, but I fall off on the stitching. I don't really want to do like a booklet like the Book of Days. I really like the idea of a planner. So I got this and I'm going to give it a try. It's a bigger size this year, which I like. And they switched to a coil bound instead of what they had last year, which I definitely didn't like. I'll be honest, this coil is a little flimsy for me, but I'm going to see how it holds up. Like for example, this is my current plum paper planner, and that's the coil like I'm used to. And it's a lot thicker. So, but obviously we're in January. I really love the planner otherwise. That's really the only thing that jumps out at me is like I wish was different, but maybe it'll be just fine. We'll see. It does have a little elastic band on the back, and then they've beefed up the covers and then reinforced the corners. So that's all things that they've improved upon. Up at the front here, and there's some goal setting pages, which I have not yet filled out because I want to do my final WIP count. And then they have a number of challenges in here. Like they have a bingo challenge, which is for finishes, but I think I mean, this is, you know, use it how you want to use it. So I'm going to use this for, I think, just even making progress on WIPs, like maybe 200 stitches on each one. And then they have word of the year. And I've made notes of these because I'm one of those people who doesn't like to write my planner until I know what I'm putting in there. So I'll probably fill some of these in and just track stitching challenge A to Z. And then what's the other one? Oh, all the colors. And then I've also set up, at the end of each month, there's like a WIP tracker. Sorry, at the beginning of each month, there's a daily stitch tracker and then your WIP individual project tracker. So these ones I'm going to track, and I think right now my daily tracker, I'm tracking like no stitching done up to 300, 600, 900, 1200, and then over 1200 to like color code to see. And then I may adjust the scale depending on how skewed it is, you know, if I need to get either more granular or go higher. And then the focus projects, there's up to 7 rows here per month, and then it has the days of the month. I'm going to highlight for each one when I have a new start, a finish, or if I've decided to UFO it. On a day I've met a challenge to celebrate those, or a page finish, or to highlight if I've done retreat or zoom stitching on that day. And then also mark if I hit 500, 1,000, or 2,000 plus stitches on that project for the month. When I cross those thresholds, just kind of celebrate that, because I don't think I give myself a lot of credit on that. I do have days where I stitch over 3,000 stitches a day. And, you know, I'm lucky to have that. So anyway, so I'm going to use that planner, and then I'm going to focus on the challenge, like I said, the stitching Facebook group challenges, but there are other challenges throughout the month or throughout the year by month in there. And depending on if I'm having an off month with the prompts don't really match, or if I want to just try something different, I have those as a go-to. So we'll see how much I use those. So I guess like wrapping up for my thoughts on 22 going into 23, I also visited 5 LNSs in 2022, which I had not done before. Stitches and Things is my somewhat local one in Fenton, Michigan, but I also went down to the Craft Gallery, Keepsakes in Ohio, went down to Riverview Stitching, which is south of Detroit, in Riverview, Michigan, where ORATM is based out of there, and then Stitches in Time in Cape May, New Jersey as well. So, you know, and then my parents basically went to Fiddlesticks too in Hawaii and kind of walked me around virtually in there while they were shopping for me, which was awesome, but I didn't count it because I didn't physically step foot in there. But yeah, so that's pretty amazing. Looking forward to 2023, obviously stitching, making progress. Retreats, I'm looking forward to. I did sign up for the Novels to Needles from the Black Needle Society, which comes with a virtual retreat. I'll be doing Frogwarts Year 4, which is also a virtual retreat, a fairly competitive one. I am going to be attending Stitch North with a number of my stitchy friends in May, which I'm really looking forward to. That's being hosted by Carolyn of Evertotes in Toronto area. And then I'm hoping to find a way to swing it to make it to Stitch New England in October. Right now, the travel costs are a bit much for the budget for this year, so we'll see, but I'm really, really hoping I can find a way to make that work, but we shall see. But I'm looking forward to seeing and meeting some of the stitchy friends in person, and, you know, I'm looking forward to another great year. But I think I will do, I'll keep going. I think we're at like an hour, because I had to stop. I want to say I think we're at like an hour and 15 minutes right now-ish. Not exactly sure, but I can get through my other WIPs. I'm going to focus, but I will say, let's see. I will try and go through them very quickly. Like I said, there's not a lot of progress, but you can at least see what they are. And if you do have questions on them, you can just let me know. See here, no, not that one. Where that one? That one. Those are just kitted up. I don't know why they ended up in there. That's a whole separate problem. I have like 20 or 30 things that are like kitted and ready to go. I need to make some choices. I am definitely going to be more selective about new starts this year for sure. It's also just kitted up. Okay. Grab a stack. Okay, so what have I got here? Start with Peppermint Purple. This is their 2020 Blackwork, Year of Blackwork. Oh, it's hard to see. It's teenage Blackwork. I am stitching this one thread on 18 count Aida. You can see I'm partway through a couple squares here. This is on Oatmeal Aida. I really like Blackwork. Every time I look at this, I'm like, I should really come back to this, and then I don't. But I do love it. This one, I think I may end up UFOing. I'm not a fan. I thought I'd like it. It's not calling to me. This is AHTEE by Kathy Barrick. And I'm stitching this on a piece of Jody fabric in the color Baking Tin. Should be, guessing this is 40 count. That's all I have done on it. I don't know, I'm not loving it. This color is a lot in general for me. I'm not really good at stitching on like bright fabrics, but you know, when you get a fabric in a club, that happens. And I was trying to test, kind of go out of my limits, and I think it's a little too far out of my limits, and that's throwing me off. The next are my Prairie Schooler Santas. I have Prairie Schooler Revisited 2. So I started the one with the pineapple and this one with the wreath. The pineapple one, I'm definitely UFOing because you can't see the pineapple. But the one with the wreath I really like. And this is on 18 count Aida that I coffee and tea dyed myself. And then I also have the 2022 one that I need to start on. Currently I keep all my Prairie Schooler Santas together. This is in a Garon tote bags bag, and this is Turtle. This is what it'll look like. And I'm stitching this on 16 count or 14 count Aida with 4 strands. This one I'm about 46% done. I do have my little cheat sheet up here on the screen in front of me. So it's got like 5,200 stitches, and I have 2,400 in there. Then I have Forest by Satsuma Street. This is like my most pathetic start ever. That's what it looks like. And this is on Grog by Brandy Bestitch Me, 18 count. That is my start. That was like for 12 days of stitching 2 years ago. And that was all I got. I really do like this one though. I may have to, this might be good for some challenge stitching as well. All right, next I have, this is Fountain Art Glass. It's a Frank Lloyd Wright window from the Dana House by Heartland House Designs. This I started back in college, and this is my start. This is where I stitched on it in college, so I have not stitched on it since then. This is another one though. I need to see, because this is the one that I had like 2 spools of Krynic in my bag with, and I need to find a project that was silver thread, so I really hope that's not too loud for you. I apologize. This is Stained Glass Ornaments by Designworks Crafts. This is a kit from Amazon. Stitching it on plastic canvas, which is kind of what I did with my grandparents. That's how I learned how to cross stitch. So I've done the tree and the bells. All the stitching is done, but the back stitching is just started on the bells. I didn't do the back stitching on here. And I really wanted to stitch the Nativity next, and then the Angel are the 2 that my sons asked for. My goal here was to make ornaments for them so that when now, but on our tree, but then when older, they can pick it and have it on their tree. Like I have the ones I stitched with my grandma. So this is on a Friday Night Fight Nights 18 count Ada from Brandy Be Stitch Me. This is the Stitchonomy Halloween 2020 sale. I took it and rematched it to fit in a coffin shape for a tray that I found at Joann's that I'm going to finish this in someday. The frame is done with the exception of, see how there's a spider here? I need to do that same spider on the other side and then down here and on the other side above the cats. So then the frame will be done, and then I just need to fill in the boxes, which I don't know if I'm going to do with the ones from that year, or she's had, you know, I've participated and gotten the patterns for the last 2 years. Or I may even look at doing like the tiny modernist calendar in there. I don't know. We shall see. Cruising right along. This is the Halloween sampler by Shoshuda Cross Stitch, which I believe she is Ukrainian, not Russian, so I think you can still get these on Etsy. But this is what it looks like. It is almost, I think it is full coverage. I started it on 14 count Ada as part of a challenge, and this Ada sucks. And this is how far I was, but like honestly, it's horrible. So I restarted it on 18 count, and this is how far I am. But I use that mostly for challenges, and I haven't needed it this year, so it didn't come out. Because that's all full coverage, I can just like go, and it has 5 colors on the whole chart. Okay, this one is Save the Stitches by Elizabeth Allman, A Journey in Blackwork. I'm stitching this on 36 count antique white Edinburgh linen. And this is how, this is like one section of what it's going to look like, but the whole thing is this big, that many sections. So if I remember right, it's like 134 sections. So I have this huge piece of linen, but this is as far as I am. It is a mix of blackwork. It also has beads, and it has metallics in there, which you can kind of see the gold in there. And it's going to have beading. I am stitching this in sulky rather than, so it's supposed to be in DMC black, 1 strand of floss, and then the X's are done in pearl cotton, number 12 weight. I am doing it in 12 weight and 30 weight sulky. So I'm doing the full crosses in the 12 weight and then the black work in the 30 weight. Because some of these you have, I mean, there's a lot of half, like quarter, half stitches in the, which is why I did it on linen. It was really recommended to not do it on Ada. And then also it, you have like 8, you know, times the threads going through one hole. So the 30 weight being super fine compared to a strand of DMC, I think will be easier. All right, next in one of the project bags, this was the first project bag I made. And I put my Eiffel Tower charm on it. I have Roxy, which is the Jean Farish Designs, Roxana Corson based sampler. And this one I really want to make progress on because I am going to, Jean Farish is going to be at Stitch North, and I would love to have this as a finish and take with me there. So this is how far I am. So I have a ways to go, but It's a lot of specialty stitches, which was my first time doing specialty stitches. It was also my first time stitching on 40 count. So it's just a plain 40 count white linen from, I think I got it from 123 Stitch. Ooh. Hold on. Oh, please. Oh, no. Oh, my basting line got caught in the zipper. Nope. Now we're down to the small bags. All right, this one is Chinese zodiac symbols, and I think I have, oh no, they're on my other Pattern Keeper tablet. So I forget who these are from. Let me just check, because I think I wrote this out. No, I didn't. Got them off of Etsy, and what I did is I charted out how like 4 of the symbols would fit because they're different sizes, and then I'm putting a dividing line between them. I'm stitching this 1/1 on 28 count Monaco, and so I have the top one done, and this is, I believe, the year of the ox, which is my dad and my sister. My mom is a rabbit and I am a goat, so it will be ox, rabbit, goat, ox. And then this was started in honor, well, not in honor, but along with in March 2 years ago for hashtag Stitch Asia, which was started by Abby Bella Stitch. This was a stitch along, or I mean, you stitch whatever you want, but the idea was to use Asian inspired pieces or pieces that involve designers charted by Asian designers or fabric made by Asian craftsmen to help combat and bring awareness to violence against the Asian community, especially in light of the pandemic, but just in general. So I believe there is going to be Stitch Asia again this March. So check out Abby Bella Stitch's Flosstube channel for more information on that. But this will definitely come out in March. And I want to finish it in kind of like a bell pull banner. I'm just making a big old mess here on the floor. This is Dreaming Frida by Barbara Anna. I'm stitching it on a no-name 18 count fabric from, I'm finding all kinds of needles today. To quote Michelle Bendy, I'm a needle heathen. That's okay. I can embrace that. This is my wonderful start on Dreaming Frida. I think I'm going to hold off on this one because what I would like to do is change Frida possibly into Isabel from Encanto and change that a little bit. And I do not have the bandwidth to rechart that right now, but I want to. So this one will hopefully get worked on this year. This is from Mindy Purcell of Luminous Fiber Arts. This is from Primitive Punch Needle magazine called Comfort and Joy. It's on a piece of 18 count Ada from Brandy Be Stitch Me. And that's my start on it. There's no reason why that shouldn't get finished this year. None at all. This is another Stitching Book Club piece. This is, oh, I don't have a picture of it, but it is the Christmas Carol. I have this, just, and I have this in a bendy flip from Bags Plus, and this is my start. This is in that same 18 count Ada that I just showed you with Comfort and Joy. And that's my start. But this definitely is going to meet some challenges this month, so I'm probably going to try and work on that a little bit. We're down to the last 3. This one is Ink Circles, Half the Fun. All the different modes of transportation, because getting there is half the fun. And this is on a no-name 22 count Ada from Brandy at Be Stitch Me. I am stitching this in with Classic Colorworks Nighty Night is the floss. Let's see here. This is my start. It's a dark like cobalt to navy blue. So it's not much of a start, but it's a start. These are the last two. Okay, then I have, and this one is really not much of a start either. I love this chart. I just haven't gotten to it. It's Cuisine Française from the French Kitchen series. This is a joint between Summer House Stitchworks and Hands On Design. And this was, so they had 4 pieces. I think it was either part of a class or a retreat that are like different combinations. And then of like apple and pear and blueberries and basil, or I don't remember, strawberries and mint, I think. And then this box, you were able to put those in to display the 3, or to put the 3 in that you weren't having out on display. But I really just like this chart. And they recommended it on a 32 count chocolate milk. And I believe that's what I got. Do I have a fabric tag in here? I don't, of course. Is it on the fabric? No, it's not. Oh wait, hold on. Nope. I know it came in the bag. So I stuck it on the back. Of course I didn't. That would have been too convenient. So this is my start. It's a 32 count, but I will tell you that it looks kind of bunchy with 2 strands, which is odd for 32 count. So maybe this is just a small 32 count. I may measure this and make sure it's actually 32. But it doesn't really matter, but it just seems kind of thick. And then I think I have, this is from, I believe, this is also Fangirl Fibers. So this is one of her knit stitch markers. But I got it with a lobster claw and they fit on my little bags. It's a little Mickey macaron. So cute. And last but not least, this is from the Fangirl Fibers That's interesting. So this is the sticker from the other fabric. That's what I was looking for. So that other fabric is 32 count cafe mocha. It's not chocolate milk. It's cafe mocha, but I don't know who it's by. It just says CF. I don't know. Anywho, so Fangirl Fibers did a Disney box because it was 50th anniversary. So this is the 50 years of magic cross stitch pattern from Abby Sue Designs that was included in the Fangirl Fibers box. And it has the castle with its 50th anniversary decorations on it. And this is where I'm at. So there's a lot of block stitching. So it's block stitching blue on blue. It's light blue and dark blue, and then it has backstitch writing on it. So it's kind of monotonous getting that in there, but that was my start. And that is, again, we'll probably just come out with some challenge stitching. So I do have a couple Abby Sue Design charts that I bought this year that I want to start. And I don't know. I may try and limit myself on new starts. I'm not going to say no new starts. That would not be realistic. But I think, I don't know. I think I'm going to try and be cognizant of what I start. I'm definitely going to scale back on buying and try and buy towards the end of the year, like kind of unless it's an exclusive or a kit or a box. Watch what I buy. So let's see how that goes. But you guys don't need to see haul. You all have haul. You don't need to see my haul. That being said, I'm going to go because I want to wrap up. I want to get on. I'm going to do 12 by 12 New Year's Eve stitching that's being hosted by Kia B and Pam from Just Keep Stitching. I had a lot going on today. I wanted to get this filmed, so I know I'm starting late, but I'm going to carry into tomorrow for my 12 by 12. I have 2 charts I'm thinking about starting, but other than that, I'm going to try and be Team WIP. We shall see. And I do want to say Happy New Year. I hope 2023 is everybody's best year yet. 2022 was hard for a lot of people. It was hard for me in certain ways, but I am very blessed, and it was definitely not as hard for me as it has been for some of my friends and family who I care about very deeply, and I wish all the best for them. And I have a lot to be thankful for, and try and reflect on that as much as possible. I am going to be toasting tonight. I wanted to highlight, it's too early for me to open this, but this bubbly is by Mobby. Mobby is a Michigan-based winery that specializes in bubbly. They have been making bubbly for 50 years. In 2023 is their 50th anniversary, and they're fantastic. Larry Mobby, who started it, set up to make French champagne style bubbly in Michigan, which, I love buying local and supporting local. He's also a fantastic guy. His son now runs, I believe, the winery as well as Big Little Wines. Great family. And the Traverse City area of Michigan is just fantastic. If you get the chance to visit it, you won't regret it. It's beautiful. But there's a lot of wineries up there now, but Mobby is one of the ones who certainly does bubbly the best, in my opinion, along with Big Little. Like I said, they're kind of joined. But this one is called Toast, Sir Brut, and they have a bunch of different kinds of different styles, but that's their signature M there, M on the cork. So that is what I'm going to be opening later tonight to ring in the new year. My kids love to stay up now, so they love having orange juice at midnight. That's their treat. And they're not a big fan of the sparkling grape juice. We tried that one year. That didn't go over well. But I hope that you're all happy and healthy, and I wish you all the best in 2023. Again, life is a gift, and you guys can't see my shirt, but I'll tell you, just remember, you're never too old for fairy tales. So I hope everybody has a great new year. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll see you in 2023. Bye.